Welcome back. Welcome back to number 7, Pajama Chronicles. I'm excited for this one. It's about reimagining the idea of imposter syndrome. And I made a couple of notes because they're like ideas that I'm trying to wrap my brain around. So the idea of imposter syndrome, I believe that it's a signpost. And it's a signpost that we're stretching beyond our comfort zone, our comfort levels, and our old skill levels, our beliefs, and our image of ourself. So if we're coming to something new and we're feeling like this isn't really me, I feel like an imposter doing this, whatever it is that you're doing, it's because we are bringing our old self to the table because that's what we're used to, that's what we know. But we're trying to do something completely different, so we're trying to stretch ourselves to something completely different. And instead of understanding that we're stretching ourselves, and it's a good thing, and it's a signpost, and it's a way for us to recognize that, ooh, we're moving on, we're taking more challenge in our life. And seeing it as an experiment, seeing it as leaping to a new reality and changing our old roadmap and our old roadmap of all the things that we know and we understand how to do into beginning to develop and understand and retool. Yeah, retool that old picture, that old image, that old belief, that old set of skills. So leveling up our skills. So it's about putting ourselves in our own corner. So if we feel like we're an imposter, let's find out why. What is that? Let's reimagine. What does that mean? An imposter, what does that mean? That do you feel like you're not good enough? Yeah, what is it? And then reimagining and understanding that this is a new practice. We're blooming something completely new. And what I wanted to do here is I wanted to use this apple blossom here. So see this blossom? Right now we can't tell what it is, what it's a blossom of. So in a sense, it could be an imposter or it could be true. But this is an apple tree. And the apple tree never feels like an imposter because it knows that it makes flowers to attract the bees, to pollinate, so that these flowers can turn into apples. So it's not trying to make grapes. It's not trying to grow broccoli. It's not trying to grow blueberries. It knows that it's growing an apple. And we know that we're growing us and we're growing a new skill. So what is that new skill that we're growing that we think that we're an imposter of? What's that new skill? And what are the skills that we can put into place so that we can continue to practice, so that we can go, okay, I'm growing into this new idea, this new picture, this new belief, this new reality. So that's what I wanted to share today. Yeah, and I think it's so interesting because we have such a tendency, the mind has a tendency to stick that I can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not aware. But what do those things lead to? What am I not good enough with? How can I get better? If I'm not aware of something, how can I get aware? So it's also changing, and that's fun too, because what that does is we're reframing the idea, the question in our mind, and this is an answer-seeking mechanism. So we're reframing the questions to ask ourselves, how can we get there? How can we improve? How can we develop? How can we be what it is that we're trying to be? To do what it is we're trying to do? Yeah, like that. How can we be our apple tree and we'll continue to bloom and create apples, but we'll bring ourselves to maybe a new garden. a new platform, a new reality. But we're still an apple tree. You still are who you are. I still am who I am. So there's no impostering going on. I am who I am. The only impostering that is going on, if that's a word, impostering, that's going on is if we're not being true to ourselves. So are you being true to yourself? Then how do you bloom into that new truth of who you want to be? Love you. Much blessings if you're still here. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next Chronicle. All right. Have a great day. Bye.